Claim to have seen the things that these people did, and the world starts paying attention. Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 famous UFO witnesses. For this list, we're looking at people who famously claimed to have witnessed UFOs or had interactions with extraterrestrials. We'll also be considering celebrities who, despite being already famous, nonetheless generated conversation with similar claims. Number 10. David Bowie. Before his passing in 2016, this musical icon left many marks on popular music and culture. He challenged both musical conventions and gender norms, and his willingness to speak his mind extended to extraterrestrials as well. Bowie often incorporated alien imagery into his lyrics and visual identity. He even played an alien in the 1976 film The Man Who Fell to Earth.
You must believe it, Mary Lou.
Well, as it turns out, Bowie had first-hand experience with extraterrestrials dating back to his childhood. He even self-published a UFO-centric newsletter in his teens after reportedly seeing many alien ships in the sky.
Where I come from, there's a terrible drought.
In fact, he told author Timothy Green Beckley that they were so frequent, he and his friends, quote, could time them. Number 9. George Adamski. There are few figures more divisive from the early days of ufology than George Adamski. After establishing himself in the California occult scene in the 1930s, Adamski hit the big time after claiming to have seen a cigar-shaped ship in the sky in 1946. By 1949, he was being paid to lecture on UFOs as an expert, making many bold assertions, including the fact that all of the planets in our solar system were inhabited. In 1952, Adamski claimed to have met with a humanoid alien from Venus by the name of Orthon. His UFO photos are widely considered to be fake, and some people go so far as to blame him for discrediting the study of UFOs. Number 8. Ronald Leo Sprinkle. This American psychologist and UFO researcher credits a 1949 encounter with a UFO as the starting point of his fascination with extraterrestrials. Being a believer can often be a lonely experience, but he witnessed another UFO in 1956, this time in the company of his wife. A doctor of psychology, Sprinkle conducted research through interviews, observation, and hypnosis of people claiming to have been abducted or contacted by UFOs. For his part, Sprinkle put himself in the latter category. Over the course of his career, Sprinkle's most notable contributions included founding the annual Rocky Mountain UFO Conference and his role as a psychological consultant in the 1969 Condon Report into UFOs, funded by the U.S. Air Force. Number 7. The Reed Brothers. Some people share a passion for UFOs with their spouse, others with their brother. As discussed in the documentary series Unsolved Mysteries, on September 1, 1969, Berkshire County, Massachusetts was host to multiple eyewitness reports of a UFO. In the case of Tom and Matt Reed, as well as a few other local residents, the aliens did more than fly over. They took the Earthlings for a ride.
This light rose up maybe 2-3 stories, and it went actually further away from our vehicle over what's now a large cornfield.
The Reed brothers claim to have had an additional 4 such encounters, the last being in 2009.
Can say exactly where he was on the evening of September 1st, 1969.
And I was laying right where we're standing right here.
Thomas Reed, who's become something of a figurehead for the 1969 event, has gone on record criticizing the way that various programs have sensationalized his story, and personally doesn't like the word abduction to describe his encounters. Number 6. Whitley Strieber. In 1985, this American horror author was spending Boxing Day at his cabin in upstate New York with his wife and son. What was likely envisioned as a relaxing holiday retreat, however, turned into a nightmare when Strieber experienced what most people would agree sounds like an alien abduction.
If I was in my right mind, I would know that too.
He awoke utterly paralyzed and at the mercy of strange, inhuman beings who performed experiments on him.
I had enough. I give up. I want to go home.
Strieber, for his part, avoids labeling them aliens and instead calls them, quote, the visitors, given that they could have had alternate origins. Though skeptics have dismissed his experience as hypnagogia, hallucinations occurring in the state between wakefulness and sleep, the author claims that his book about the experience, Communion, is strictly nonfiction.
They dragged me out in the middle of the night.
Number 5. Travis Walton. One of the most widely publicized abduction stories in UFO history, the disappearance and reappearance of Travis Walton still generates debate decades later. On November 5, 1975, Walton, a forestry worker, was on site with his team in Arizona's Apache Sitgreaves National Forest. Driving with his team, which included 6 other men, Walton spotted a UFO, which, upon exiting the vehicle to investigate, shot a, quote, beam of light at him that knocked him out.
What the hell's he doing out there? Get back to the truck! The hell is that?
His co-workers apparently fled the scene, while Walton woke up aboard the craft, where he attempted to fight off the extraterrestrials before being rendered unconscious again. Five days after his disappearance, which had triggered a missing person investigation, Walton reappeared with an unbelievable story to tell. Many dismissed it as a hoax. Number 4. Billy Meier. When people turn their alleged UFO encounters into a career, they're inviting a lot of scrutiny and skepticism. But that hasn't stopped this Swiss contactee from founding his own religion. In English, it roughly translates to the Free Community of Interests for the Border and Spiritual Sciences and Ufological Studies. Catchy. Meier claims that his earliest alien encounter occurred when he was 5 years old. His extraterrestrial contact was a humanoid named Svat, from a race called the Plejaren. Later, after Svat's death, Meier allegedly communicated with various other extraterrestrial beings, both male and female, including Svat's granddaughter. Meier has produced various images and films to support his stories, most of which have been labeled as fake by both scientists and the ufology community. Number 3. Bob Lazar. In 1989, Robert Scott Lazar appeared on KLAS News to drop some alleged bombshells about UFOs.
Actually 9 flying saucers, flying discs, that are out there of extraterrestrial origin, and they're being test flown and basically just analyzed.
Going by the name of Dennis and with his face obscured, Lazar told reporter George Knapp that he was employed at Area 51 in the, quote, S4 facility. His job, as he explained to Knapp, was to reverse engineer one of the 9 UFOs hidden in the secret mountain hangar.
I think that technology is going to fuse with us.
Yes.
And we're going to become...
It's already happening.
This naturally generated nationwide attention, and Lazar soon revealed himself to the public and became a UFO icon.
But it's a unique element. When it's exposed to radiation, it produces its own gravitational field, its own anti-gravitational field, and it's what's used to lift and propel the craft and create distortions around it.
The Air Force denies ever having hired him, however, and there's no record of him attending MIT or Caltech, where he claims to have completed master's degrees. Number 2. Barney and Betty Hill. As far as average citizens turned UFO celebrities go, it doesn't get any more high profile than this.
Since 1947, there have been hundreds of thousands of reports of UFOs, unidentified flying objects.
In 1961, the Hill story became the first widely publicized account of an alien abduction in American history. Skeptics have argued that it influenced countless similar stories reported in the years since. The couple was driving home through rural New Hampshire when what they believed to be a shooting star revealed itself to be a spacecraft. After what sounds like an altogether hair-raising encounter with the mysterious ship, the Hills came to their senses again 35 miles from where they'd started.
I saw the thing. I knew I saw the thing. But if my best friend told me he'd seen it, I'd say he was crazy.
Benny, there have been UFO sightings all over New Hampshire. Are you saying they're all nuts, all those people?
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
An investigation followed, involving the National Investigations Committee on Aerial Phenomena and numerous interviews and psychologists. Debate continues to this day.
I wanted to find out for myself if Betty and Barney had actually been abducted or if they had created and absorbed a fantasy that they retold through hypnosis.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Elvis Presley. The king is gone, but where to? Elvis Presley died at the age of 42 at his home in Memphis, Tennessee.
You can trust me. I won't say a thing to anybody about anything.
But the music icon's long-standing fascination with UFOs and extraterrestrials has given birth to various conspiracy theories suggesting that he permanently left Earth with aliens. Others go so far as to say that he was just going home. According to Michael Luckman's book Alien Rock, Presley claimed to have been visited by aliens when he was just 8 and given a vision of the future.
I learned best by experience.
He also reportedly saw many UFOs as an adult. His connection to extraterrestrial visitors goes all the way back to his birth, when his father saw a strange blue light hovering overhead outside. Perhaps they were dropping him off.
Ready when you are.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from Watch Mojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.